Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm gonna talk a little bit about Prey. I bought this game not on pre-order because I tend to not do too much pre-orders these days. So, this game really kind of fly under the radar for me because it was not something that I really think I would buy, but in the end, I got a really pleasant surprise. So, today I'm gonna talk a little bit, and in the end I'm gonna shed a light on what I think or not about the game. So, let's start with the sound, the music, the ambient, everything. Prey really hits the nail on creating a silent space, but giving you enough sounds than you or immerse on the game. Really, there is not much music on it, but really the ambient sounds that keep you on the edge, I have to say. Really, it's kind of about the fact of being looking for the next mimic, looking for the enemy. It's all a really great balance the soundtrack and the ambient sound of the game gives you. The game is amazing on giving you little audio cues about when the next enemy going to attack. The game does have a good silent approach to its ambient sound, because really, you're gonna be looking at it. A mimic makes a sound when you enter a room. A mimic really twitches the object around when you are close by. So these little sound cues are what I think Prey does really well. And of course, when you go into combat, the music kind of starts kicking off, and that is cool too. I really enjoy the combat tracks the game has to offer. So, I don't do scores here, but I gotta say, Prey really hits the nail when it comes to sound. The game is amazing on what it does. The voice acting, I really wish your character talks a little bit more, but in some ways, he does. It's a little bit sparse and it's a little bit not my style. I really don't think I like a silent protagonist these days. But what are we gonna do? We can't kind of have everything out. The side characters, besides your main, they do a really good job. I didn't like so much some of the characters, like the voice for the security officer, and I don't know if I like the voice of your brother. But in the end, it was very good. I enjoyed too much of the game. Soundtrack and sound cues and the voice acting could be better in some points, but I really love it. So that is it for sound, ladies and gentlemen. Out of the sound department, we go direct for the visuals. The visuals of the game are great. They are not perfect, they are very... I'm not gonna say cartoony because that's not the right word. They are stylish for their own purpose. The characters does not really look realistic. And I do think that is a reason for it. The lack of realism of the characters create an interesting gap between you and they. Because really, your character, he looks like to be more realistic than the other characters. With the exception of your brother, I think, because, I don't know. But really, you got that small bridge, then there is kind of reason if you delve too deep in the game, but I really think it's a very good idea. The station, the place where you're going to be living to most part of the game, it is very good. the graphic, the each space tells you a little bit of a history, and that's kind of interesting. I did much enjoying just seeing the place and kind of goes in my mind what happened to here. So the graphics do a really good job. Although the enemies kind of look all the same a little bit too much. The Phantoms, they just, you know, throw a little bit of lighting around and they become a different enemy, and a fire will become a little bit different. Mimics, there's two variants, so I just was able to identify because the name tag. I don't know if there is a subtle cue or because I was just shooting with a shotgun and, you know, try not to care too much about it. But I would like a little bit of more visual on the enemy. On the mimics to be more exactly, but in some ways the mimics shouldn't have a visual representation. They are like mimics. So you got the idea. In the end, I really enjoyed the visuals. And I think the uncanny relationship between the characters visual and the outside visual is interesting. Even on their when you see they look a little bit different than when you look into it. I don't kind of know how to point it. It's an uncanny feeling, but I do believe there is a reason for it. And this reason is something that I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the plot, on the plot side, on the spoiler section about this game. But really, I really enjoy the graphics of this game. Out of graphics, we go to the gameplay. The gameplay of this game was something interesting to me. Because really, the game kind of marks itself like, do your own way. You have, at the beginning of the game, like 3 different ability. You go on science, engineering, and security. Although you can do any approach, I do believe what they were trying is choose between security and engineering, and expand to science when you have the time. Although I didn't do that, I start a little bit with science and I kinda suffer my way through that. Because really, I was like too squishy to most of the encounters, and I didn't want to go stealth. So, it's kinda like a problem because I decided to do that. And second, after a while, during the first half an hour, 1 hour, depending on how much exploration of the beginning area you do, you're going to present with the choice of alien mods. Alien special powers, like you're gonna have the ability of the mimic, you're gonna have a telekinetic strike, things like that. But really, I decided I would do a pure human playthrough. And that's quote unquote interesting, to say the least. Because really, I didn't invest anything on the alien mods and the alien abilities for my first playthrough. So, with that said, I have a lot of Psyamps store around, and I end up having a lot day to recycle, giving me Neuro mods after a certain point of the game when you can reset the Neuro mod fabrication plan. But, with that said, the game does kind of toggles a little bit of difficult to you because, one, if you go scientist, you really are vulnerable. You really are squishy. So you're gonna need to rely too much on stealth. That's why I say you choose a path between engineering and security, because engineering will give you more inventory space, will give you more I do believe it's the one who give you more upgrades to your guns. While security will give you more life, more stamina, more everything. Will allow you to be more durable on the combat. Engineering will give you the turrets that you need. It will allow you to fortify them. While science will be something like upgrades to the game. You'll be able to upgrade turrets. You'll be able to upgrade your psi ability. And that was something that I didn't use. So my science was just for gather more materials and health and the occasional hacking. Because really, science for me was about that. I never wanted to have on the game a door that I could not open. So, I upgrade very, very slowly on this game. Why? Because I have the feeling that I really need to always have some neuro mods there for upgrade the leverage or the hacking. Because really, the game does have a lot of locked doors to you in the beginning, and with time you were able to unlock them. Some of the doors I wasn't able to unlock to the end of the game, because some of them you're going to need a special alien power to pass through. I don't know if I was able to pass through day without the alien and didn't notice, but I do believe there was some locked doors and I could not go because I decided to take a full human path on my first playthrough. Second problem, aiming your guns. Yeah, you not have an aim down. You're going to be just first person. If you kind of think, imagine Fallout 3 without being able to zoom out. To zoom in, I'm sorry. Yeah, not really great, but the game is a little bit forgiving when shooting. And since you don't have human targets per se, you're not gonna need to be scoring that headshot. You're gonna have. There was a fourth gun, I think. You're gonna have the shotgun, the pistol, the glue gun. There is iconic and very fun. The wrench, the stun gun, and I do believe there was one more gun. But problem, I have found a shit ton of ammo and never found a gun. I think it was the Q beam. I stored like 200 ammo of that shit. Never used. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Didn't found a gun. But really, the gunplay, it's kinda not good. Could be a lot better. Although, as I said, the aiming is a little bit forgiving. With the shotgun, you just need to be facing the target and shoot. And that's kind of one of my problems, because some of the phantoms you will not wanna get close to it. So you're going to need to rely to alternative meaning, aka throw a lure and find a turret and let the turret do half of the job, approach with a shotgun and kill it. It's kinda bad, but it works. Second, I have a little bit of problem with two enemies. I think it was the Techno something and the Telepath. Although, after I get a stun gun, telepaths stopped being a problem. The problem became a little bit more with the Techno guy. The Techno super mass alien with turrets of doom. He was able to corrupt some of the operators. Operators are a little bit of a helping hand during the game. So they are like robots who fly and will kill you fast. Not fast, but they will do a lot of damage. And after a little bit of while, some of the techno things end up having turrets attached. So it would be a dance of throwing a EMP, let the turret fall off of the guy, because really, the guy just magnetics a turret to his body and use like a weapon. So you do that, plop some shots on the guy, rinse and repeat until the guy's dead. And the problem is, the turret don't stop. You just hope then she falls in an angle that it will not shoot you. So, with all of this being said, the gameplay of the game, it could be better. But since I only experienced half of it, being that I chose to do a full human playthrough, I can say it's okay. And really, the key mapping, I don't know, it wasn't the best thing that I really like. Z and X was a little bit out of my reach sometimes, and to fortify a turret, to hack a turret, and to carry a turret was the same key. Just hold and just a press or hold. Something that I really don't like. We have a lot of buttons on our keypad. There was a lot of buttons that we didn't using for some specific actions. For example, you would not have a dedicate grenade button. You would have a key for, you have to scroll down on the number keys to find the grenade that you want. So we could be using something a little bit of more smart key mapping. But really, the gameplay conveys the fact that you are alone. Then your only friend's gonna be one operator. Sometimes in your turrets. And really, the fact that you cannot carry turrets between areas, kinda bummer. But I can see why. So, here's gonna be the non-spoiler plot conversation and kind of a conclusion. And after that I go to full spoilers. So, before I'm gonna give, of course, a warning. But let's go to the non-spoiler. What did I think of the plot? Well, I did enjoy exploring the place. I did enjoy the quests. The side quests are very good. Since you do not level up per se, the side quest has a little bit of more of a fleshing out the world and the world around you, the station, the characters around you, then have a progression value. Although to the exploration you end up finding resources, then with the resources you end up upgrading your character, you get the idea they use a more loose, some more loose base progression to the side quests, and I did enjoy that. Really, side quest does not need to give you a level, give you a special cool item for it. The little history about it was enough to me. I did not finish every single side quest because, well, one quest bug out on me, and the others ones that I didn't finish. It was kind of between the fact I have my character. I put on my characters a sense of urgency. Fuck, a sense of urgency. I have to finish this. There is a threat. There is a problem here, and I need to do it fast. That was a thing. That's why I did not do many of the side quests. I didn't finish up. I think I have the one who bug out on me, and 2 other side quests on my radar before I was able to finish. Maybe next time, next playthrough, I will be able to do. The main quest, well, the main quest walked me through the station, and that was enough for me. I didn't like some of the decisions they took to the main plot of the game, to the lack of explanation about some stuff. But that's kind of a little bit about the spoiler version. But the plot is good, works fine, connect you to point A to point B without any problem. The characters you encounter, they have their own quirks. For fuck's sake, I'm playing Darkest Dungeon and I cannot say the word quirks. That's amazing. Say a lot about me. So, back to the topic at hand. Each character feels unique. For more strange than that sounds on this game, they do feel unique. But I have to say, the lack of explanation about some points of the game maybe turn you off of some sorts. I do understand, then you have to leave some things up to the player interpretation, but I would like a little bit more explanation, a little bit more what happened, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of really a little bit the only gripes I have with the plot, the lack of fleshing out of. The characters are really kinda good. They are fleshing out okay, except for you. And that's kind of the problem of having a silent protagonist. Although you have a few audio logs about then you record yourself, it didn't quite hit the mark for me, so I was expecting a little bit more about myself, about my why I'm doing this, what is my take on it. So, with all of that being said, the plot is good. It's a great game. It's a great plot. It kept me interested in what's gonna happen next. What is the detail? If I going to go through with the mission to the end? If they gonna force me down a path or not? And really, there's a lot of moments in the game I see they could force you down a path without a problem. They could kind of force you. No, you're not gonna. You think you're having this choice, but in the end, we're gonna force you around this point. And that's something that I have to commend the developer. They give you that choice. They show you what is, and they allow you to keep the choice to the beginning. From the beginning into the game into the end. So, allow me to say, from now on, I'm going to talk spoiler. I will talk about the end of the game and my thoughts on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to finish the game for your own, if you want to check out anything, stop the video now and go get it. Really, in the end, the conclusion that I'm gonna give you, Prey is a safe pick. It's a game that you're gonna enjoy. It has replayability. You're going to want to kind of do another playthrough to see what the stuff you miss, how the outcome of certain quests would be different, how side quests would affect differently the gameplay. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, from now on, I'm going to be talking spoilers. To be honest, I'm gonna talk about the end of the game. So, I was disappointed with the end of the game. Really, I didn't expect to be disappointing with the end of the game. And I don't like the idea, a simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation. Because, well, it kind of takes the worth out of the game. And one thing's, you can guess what really happened at the end of the game. You can imagine what really happened. But that's the problem I don't want to guess this. At that point, this is a part of the plot that I don't want to guess about. I kind of want to know what happened, what really happened. And that was the problem. On the end game, you discover you are reliving Morgan's memory. You're not really Morgan. You are a Typhoon mimic, kinda, something. They are in a simulation, and you're reliving Morgan's memory. But you're able to do your own things, because it is a simulation, and you have some AIs who simulate some of the characters who are still alive, quote unquote, alive on the game. Problem is, they don't explain shit after that. And I know, sequel baiting. The game ended up with saying, hey, we're going to deliver you Prey 2. And I do believe the game was a success, so yeah, we're gonna have a Prey 2. But really, fuck's sake, I really want to know a little bit more about it. I really want to know more. And the game does not deliver too much. During the game, you get hints there is something wrong. There is something that you don't quite get it. And I do not know what it is. I do not know how they fit in the game. Because really, that is quite a problem. The game does not explain its own end to you.
So the first thing you need to know is you can trust January.
And yeah, you can arrive to a conclusion. You can say, well, in the end, you didn't blow up the station, you came back Morgan, or everything was Typhoon infected, and the Typhoon came out and fuck up Earth. But it's a lot of can. Because in the end, if you have to simulate people, you have to simulate the AI of the survivors of the station, it means then nobody survive except you and your brother. Or they survive and die after. You see, the game left a lot of questions, then maybe will be answered in the sequel. And that's the problem. Sequels does not have to answer all the questions left by the first game. And really, I don't see a season pass, so I don't see a DLC. And I don't think a DLC would kind of go through that. And really, I don't think a different playthrough would give me a different idea. In the end, you kind of have given a meaningless choice. You can either kill your brother and destroy all the AIs, or you can shake their hand and, well, let's work together in the sequel. So, of course, in the end, the canon ending is you shake hands with your brother and let's work together. One problem, yeah, I didn't like that outcome. I didn't like the illusion of it. Because really, sometimes simulations are the problem with dream theories on anything. It was just a dream, anything could happen. And I didn't like it. I don't know, it's kind of make the effort meaningless. Even if I enjoy the ride, even if I love the space station, the characters around. For fuck's sake, one of my quest that I most love doing was find the character sheets of the guys have a tabletop RPG on the station. So you're kind of tasked on find all the characters. And they have a treasure map too. I didn't quite finish the treasure map quest because that moment I was already too in the main quest. The sense of urgency that I self-create to my character was there, so I needed to do it the main quest. There was a few things that I did do, some side quests like killing the fat guy, not your brother, the other fat guy, because that I didn't remember his name. A guy who tried to kill you during the game, so you go against it. And yeah, although everything is not a better, not a best, the end is disappointing, but keep me on the hook for a sequel. So I don't know if that was what I intended. I did not was satisfied when I achieved the conclusion. And to be far honest, I do believe if the end of the game was just you arrive in my playthrough, you getting in the shuttle and flying off the station with your friends, and they kind of bait the simulation theory. They do not fully go on it, just give, because there is hints toward the game there is something wrong. During some moments you see flashes of the reality outside of the simulation. So I would say if they keep the end, like they do that on a during the credits, give you some more hints about it, I would be okay with it, because then my ending would be reasonably well. Well, I blow up the station, but some mimics got out. They end up being by the explosion being launched on Earth, and Earth got fucked up. So yeah, I kinda can understand what happened. And then in the sequel they say, here, this is what happened. And that makes the end decision. But really, the last decision or between shake your hand or shake the hand of your brother and not, it is basically meaningless. So, to the fact of you cut this decision off and just jump for the sequel, I think would be a better choice. But really, I enjoy the game, and I would recommend to anyone to pick it up. I have a lot of gripes on it, and really, there's no plot to me that is fully perfect on the game. I do enjoy complaining about a plot, and really, if you wanted me complaining about a game plot, ask me about Fallout 4, and I'm gonna give you a handful of complaints. But ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it. Prey was an amazing adventure. It was a very good sci-fi. It was not the first, the first Prey, and it was not the second, the sequel that we were promised to a long time ago with that trailer. But I think the new Prey series from Arcane Studios, I'm gonna give you this. The guys did an amazing job. Every aspect of the game kind of have a flaw, but overall the unit of every aspect of the game was amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, give Prey a try. In the end, you can just roll around mimic like a coffee mug. It's gonna be funny. So, let's finish this with, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like. If you have something to say about Prey, about your vision of the ending, what you like or didn't like, feel free to leave a comment. If there was something you wish That could be, I could talk more about it. Let's go away. I'm gonna try. If there is enough questions about something, I will try to do another video on it. So, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.